Hello everyone, my name is Logan Ozdyck with DuneVision. We're a video production company out of Northwest Indiana, and we own a fly pack, and we do a lot of live production as freelancers and as our company. We have done sports productions with this thing. We've done interview shows for cross-country and local high school sports. We did professional basketball with this fly pack, a new professional basketball, not NBA, but it's professional. It's called the Professional Hoops Association. It's very cool. You can watch that broadcast on our channel here and see what we did with it. I want to talk to you about video games. Interesting segue from broadcast to video games, but there's a reason. Video games have been around for a very long time, and they've only gotten better. The graphics have gotten so good. And they are rendered in real time because they have to be, right? You're playing the game right now, things can change, they need to be dynamic, they need to be rendered in real time. It is something that they have been working on for a very, very long time. So, the games industry created game engines and rendering engines that have culminated into these large players like Unreal Engine from Epic Games. Epic Games is one of the biggest game developers in the world, and they have graciously let the world use Unreal Engine, their internal game engine. And they've created it as a product, and they've graciously let it be used for free. It is a free program. You can download it right now. You go to the Epic Games Store, you look up Unreal Engine, and you can download it right now. All features completely free. Now, if you make $1 million with that game that you create, or you make $1 million as your company, then you have to start paying royalties, or you have to pay per seat for your license for Unreal Engine, which is very generous. That is insane. It is a professional live render, like professional real-time rendering game engine with some of it is the industry standard. It is the industry leader in rendering, in real-time rendering, in data, in all sorts of things. It is also the industry leader in broadcast graphics for augmented reality situations. So virtual sets and the like will probably use Unreal Engine. Over time, the real-time rendering thing became of interest to broadcasters, and Unreal and Epic Games have put that into the engine. And the engine has taken off, and they've, you know, it's had its growing pains, but it has become kind of the industry standard and all of that, which has been really cool to see. Something that where when I was a kid, I wanted to be a game developer, so I learned how to use Unreal Engine to make little stupid games. And then I went away from that and I said, I'm never going to touch that again. And now I've become an adult and I work in broadcasting. And then all of a sudden, Unreal Engine plops right back in my lap to be explored again. It is a fantastic piece of software, and it is very good for making games and very good for production. And now it is very, very good for making broadcast graphics, period. Not just virtual sets, not just any of that kind of virtual production world. It is, they have a built-in, and I stress this, I will stress this to the broadcast people in my network that will probably watch this and being like, I did not know that Logan made YouTube videos. I do now. I will stress this to all of you. Unreal Engine has a broadcast graphics system in it. I will say this one more time. Broadcast graphics in Unreal Engine. Did you remember what I said earlier about how much it costs? Yeah, it's free unless you make over $1 million, then it's $1,000. That's not, Expression doesn't cost that. Expression costs quite a bit more than that. Viz costs quite a bit more than that. Chiron costs quite a bit more than that. vMix is around the same price for its Pro version, and New Blue kind of hovers around there too, depending on what sale you get it at. But so I saw this. I hadn't heard anyone talk about it. I've seen some videos, but then I watched a video of some graphic designers explaining their demo that they created for the motion design system in Unreal Engine. And then I saw that there's an update release for motion design that they're now starting to really make this, call it production ready. That's the one caveat right here. It is not really production ready. It works. I'm not going to say it doesn't work. But it definitely is rough. But if you are not watching this as a sports broadcaster or just a broadcaster in general, then you don't know what you're missing, and you need to learn it. I'm spending my time learning this, and I just want to scream it from the rooftops that Unreal Engine has this in there, because Epic Games does this thing where they create something, they do it very well, and it could become an industry standard. Obviously, I have no crystal ball. I don't know how people are going to react to this. I don't know what any of this is in terms of how other people will react to it and how people in the industry will react to it. But I will tell you how I reacted when I realized that there was a operator view for this graphic stuff to be able to run them live and edit fields and design stuff. And it was, oh crap, this is real. So I decided I was going to show you guys what this is. So I made a score bug, which you will see here somewhere. It's not very good. I've never been accused of being a very good graphic designer. I would like to get better at being a graphic designer, but I've made passable graphics packages for certain streaming events, but I'm not exactly... I made this in like a day in Unreal. So what I first did is, it's not really a design software, right? It's not really like a rapid design software. So, and I found this out really quickly. If you're making something beyond just like a simple lower third, what you should probably do is, when you're getting into your creative mind, you should probably go and mock it up in Photoshop, or like I did, Affinity Photo. And so I mocked up this score bug. And it's not great, and I used a really weird texture to give it some depth, and it didn't really give it the depth I wanted it to, but it wasn't really supposed to be, you know, broadcast. This isn't my score bug that I use in shows, and it's not going to be anywhere near a show, but I just wanted to make something that looked passable, and something that I could show, like, hey, here's what it looks like in Photoshop, and then here's what it looks like in Unreal Engine. So I prototyped it in Affinity Photo, and then I exported it and then brought it into Unreal Engine. And I created a texture, or I created a mesh and put the texture on it, and or the 2D. I'm not a 3D guy. I know a little bit. I know enough, but that's where you're going to run into issues with Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine is, first and foremost, a 3D game engine. So it thinks about everything in terms of a game engine. Motion design is kind of people were using Unreal Engine to render things like animations, and as it has a rendering engine in it that you can render video, but it really didn't have the tools to do it, besides like some basic keyframing and rigging and all that for games. So you go through and you have 2D planes that you put textures on, and and then you bring in the text, and the text is 3D, so you can do all sorts of things with the text, but there's certain things that the text can't do, and all that kind of stuff, like opacity is kind of hard, and it's not just like grabbing a thing, and as you can kind of, there's some of this stuff where I'm looking through all sorts of documentation to try and figure out something that's done in Unreal and in this motion design thing that's different from what's there actually normally in Unreal and how other people have done it. And there's really not a lot of documentation about this yet. There's some YouTube series about it, so I've been able to learn a lot from watching other people do that. Pixel Professor, very good channel to watch if you want to learn all this stuff. Now, if you're looking at this and you're going, this looks a bit familiar, it's because it does look familiar. This is very much, the rundown is very much like Viz, Viz Trio. It very much looks like that. You have your templates, and then you have your pages, and then your preview, and then you have your editing of your text above. It's the graphics operation. This is your standard operating graphics to output. If you go into the outputs and everything, you can send it to NDI, or you can send it out to a Blackmagic deck link so that you can send it SDI to a switcher like this. The animations are pretty easy for the most part. Now, it's just like After Effects, keyframe goes between them, and then you can change to the curves and make them look better, make the animations look good. There's nothing really very different from what you would see in After Effects or Blender or in another, another keyframe-based animation system. Things get a bit weird when you start talking about things that you normally would talk about or normally would use with like masks in After Effects. I spent a lot of time messing with these masks. It worked, it looked great in the thing, and then I went into the rundown and it didn't work correctly, and then it started like not working correctly, and then it started messing with the text and all this, and eventually I just deleted the mask. I probably am using it completely wrong. I probably need to read some documentation to really figure out how the masks are done in Unreal Engine. But at the end of the day, at the end of all of this, I had an animating in score bug. Unreal Engine was able to do this. Now, it's glitchy still, but it's almost there. It's got a couple of things, and I'll get into this. Let me get into this. Where do I feel like it's lacking still? I think it's lacking in a couple of places, and I have not used this in a production setting yet. I will at some point. I am going to commit to trying this out on a show somehow. And I want to learn it all and figure out how to do this, because I do think that this is the future. But there are some things where if you're I don't know why somebody at a major network would be watching me talk about Unreal Engine. I'm not a graphic designer. I'm just a guy who likes broadcast and computers. But here's a few of my concerns. As an operator, somebody who is a graphics operator, I feel like I would get very, 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 very frustrated with this view, with the rundown view. Not because it's not logical. Like I said, it's clearly has taken inspiration from Viz, and you can tell, you can recall pages by pressing numlock and doing that. It works very similarly to how you would expect a graphics program to work. Now, when you type in that page and then you press enter, I expect the graphic to go out immediately. Doesn't work that way. You gotta click on the thing again, and then you press enter. It kind of becomes an issue, and then it doesn't. It's just clunky. It's just clunky, and it has a lot of growing to do from that aspect. Some other things is like the masks not showing correctly. I'm not entirely sure if I did that wrong or if the program's having some glitches. The other thing is the layer system that they have kind of shoehorned in to really make the the actual like graphic design way of doing things work is a bit weird. You create a null actor, which is basically just like a nothing thing that you can put things in so that it can have, it's basically nothing that can have properties. It's a nothing that can have modifiers and all sorts of fun things done to it. You put one of these like modifiers on that says, hey, take priority based on the layer that they're in this node, which, unless I'm going crazy, I could not find a way to change the priority of those besides renaming things to be like 1, 2, 3, 4. So like, unless people are doing it in a different way that I am just completely not. I saw some people saying that you can do it with like nesting everything, but then if you need to move something here, you're moving the whole nest with you. And you watch these videos about what this thing can do, and it's insane. And Unreal Engine has way more resources pumped into it than any of these boutique, Chiron, Ross, any of these guys. They have great engineers that work for them, but they do not have the firepower that Unreal Engine has, because it's used for, it's got an economy of scale. Games are a huge industry. On top of that, simulations use Unreal Engine, and those are high-ticket items that need rendering in a certain real-time fashion. You also have other film and TV using Unreal Engine outside of just this like insert graphics system. For broadcast graphics, the same engine that renders real time for many, many simulations and games and everything like that being used for broadcast graphics, it's the best renderer in broadcast graphics. It's the best editor in broadcast graphics. It's the best UI in broadcast graphics. Is it the best in broadcast graphics? Period? Not yet. It's obviously got some issues. It's got some major growing pains that they're gonna have to work through. But no fear, this isn't some abandoned feature that we're gonna be sitting around going, man, if Epic ever did that, finished it, it would be great. It had an update like 4 days ago. Major update 4 days ago, proving a lot of performance issues, and they're now calling it production ready. I don't agree with that entirely. I could see myself using it in a production. I don't know if I could see a network deciding to use deciding to use Unreal Engine for their full graphics package, but it's getting there. And I would not be surprised if in 3-4 years, we're looking at that. And I'm gonna keep talking about it, I'm gonna keep learning it, and I'm gonna keep doing it because it's awesome, and I really want there to be more content about this out there, and I really want to be the guy that knows how to use it because it's going to be big. So anyways, I just wanted to show you all that, and you know, people in my network and anyone else that stumbles upon this. Again, I'm Logan Ozdyck with DuneVision. We run a video production company out of Northwest Indiana, and we do a bunch of live production, and yeah, look out for some more videos.